Hey everyone, welcome back to another installment of the Key Essentials. In this video, we're going to be doing primary physical aggressor and concurrent jurisdiction. These are two topics that you really have to get a handle on if you're going to successfully answer those domestic violence questions on your exam, which are sure to be there. So let's take a look at them. Let's get started. Okay, a simple way to look at primary aggressor analysis, basically like who started it, right? Who's the aggressor in the dispute? So there are some rules about primary aggressor analysis, and they're going to help you get questions right on the exam. For example, let's start out with the main rule about the entire analysis for primary aggressor, which is that it is only for simultaneous misdemeanor versus misdemeanor family offense. So every one of those pieces of that sentence are important, right? Simultaneous means she didn't do something downstairs on the street to him, and then he did something half an hour later in the house. So this is an argument that broke out somewhere, and they hurt each other at the same time. Maybe she was defending herself. So simultaneous is important. Misdemeanor versus misdemeanor is important. Don't forget to know your penal law charges, right? Because if he punches her, but she hits him with a pot, hitting with a pot is assault too. That's a felony. You should already know that. So then there will be no primary aggressor analysis for felony versus misdemeanor. So it's for simultaneous misdemeanor versus misdemeanor family offense only. So if what one of them committed was not a family offense, we're not saying that the NYPD is not saying that you don't send these people to jail. They may well deserve to go to jail, and you may send them to jail. You may arrest them. But we're saying that the primary aggressor analysis, like who's to blame, who's supplying the aggression, that analysis is not going to be done unless you're at a family dispute that is for simultaneous misdemeanor versus misdemeanor family offenses only. So not after the fact, not for felonies, and it must be a family offense. So we attempt to identify the primary aggressor by considering the following: comparative extent of injuries, the wife's black eye versus the husband's scratch. Was it a defensive act or injury? Are there other future or current or future threats? Like, I'll get you later, or I'm going to kill you later, something like that. And do they have a prior history of domestic violence, which can be considered when determining the primary aggressor? And remember, the most important thing, please, violation of an order of protection in the penal law is criminal contempt. And criminal contempt is not a family offense. So no primary aggressor analysis. That's it. So if you come into a family dispute on the test question and she's breaking an order of protection, she's violating an order of protection, but he punched her, okay, that there's no primary aggressor analysis there, because violation order of protection is criminal contempt under the penal law, and criminal contempt is not a family offense. So much so that if the wife went to court and got a family court order of protection, or went to criminal court and got a criminal court order of protection, so no matter where the order of protection was secured, if someone breaks the order of protection, if someone violates the order of protection, it is only answerable to criminal court. Okay, so violation order of protection, criminal contempt is not a family offense, so therefore no primary aggressor analysis. So what do? If you're in the middle of doing a primary aggressor analysis, why? Because in the body of the question, or in real life for that matter, you are at a family dispute and there is simultaneous misdemeanor versus misdemeanor family offenses committed. That's it. That's the only time you would be doing a primary aggressor analysis. So let's say you're doing it. What do? You always confer with the patrol supervisor. Always make a complaint report and a DIR for each party. Arrest only the primary aggressor, but you may arrest the true victim if appropriate, and you're going to determine that at the scene. If you can't determine who the primary aggressor is, you may arrest both of them. List all the factors that led to determination or your inability to determine the primary aggressor in the details section of the 61 and the activity log and the results of investigation and basis of action taken section on the DIR. That is a specific list of 3. So here's the question. Where does your primary aggressor analysis get documented? The answer is in 3 places. Details of the 61, activity log, and results of investigation and basis for action taken section of the DIR. 3 specific places it gets documented. So if a primary aggressor is identified, this is the way the complaint reports work out. And this is on a prior test question. So complaint report number 1 is made by the victim against the perp. Complaint report number 2 is made by the perp against the victim, but if you're not going to arrest that person, that complaint report is closed to patrol. Each complaint report must include a statement in the details that either the offender was determined not to be the primary aggressor, determined to be the primary aggressor and the reason, or your inability to determine who is the primary aggressor. Primary consideration is prevention of future violence and safety of all the household members. So let's move on to concurrent jurisdiction. This means that whoever the victim is, you heard me say in class that I'm going to refer to her as she, right? Because the overwhelming majority of domestic violence victims are women. So if you're going to arrest him, she can have the case either handled in criminal court or family court, but she can't indiscriminately do that. There are rules. So concurrent jurisdiction means it can either be handled in criminal court or family court if it's a family offense, it's committed by a family member as defined by the Family Court Act, and the perp is 18 years of age or older. So there are 3 things, right? If concurrent jurisdiction is going to be considered, where she can either have it prosecuted in criminal court or family court, it has to be a family offense committed by a family member, and that family member has to be over 18 years of age, okay? If they're 16 or 17, if it's a family offense felony also, because that would make them an adolescent offender. Concurrent jurisdiction does include felonies, but it has to be a family offense felony. Now you'll recall that primary aggressor analysis does not include felonies. So, but concurrent jurisdiction does. So if you're in a family dispute with family members, with family offenses committed, could it be a concurrent jurisdiction and not primary aggressor analysis? The answer is yes, it can. Because concurrent jurisdiction can include felonies, but primary aggressor analysis does not include felonies. You're doing a primary aggressor analysis. It is only for simultaneous misdemeanor versus misdemeanor family offenses. Concurrent jurisdiction just has to be a family offense, so it can include felonies. Primary aggressor analysis does not include felonies. So what do? How do you handle this? You advise the complainant when concurrent jurisdiction exists. Family court is to resolve the dispute and end violence. Criminal court is to prosecute the offender. You inform them, the victim, that they can proceed in both courts and change courts at any time. Family court proceedings begin when an accusatory instrument or family court petition is filed, not when an arrest is effected or requested. Now, if there's a violation out of your presence, not a violation of the rules. I'm talking about a violation as in not a felony, not a misdemeanor, but a violation. So in the family offenses, this would be like your harassment, discon, including acts not committed in public, right? a violation. So if a violation out of your presence occurs, if concurrent jurisdiction inform complainant that they can go to either family court or the summons part of criminal court, right? Or both. If no concurrent jurisdiction, then just refer them to the summons part of criminal court, but then the victim must have the offender's address available for eventual service. So this last part is not primary aggressor analysis, and it's not concurrent jurisdiction, but I do want to throw a last slide in here about leaving the complaint report open or closed. This is an excellent question that John put right in the text of the lesson plan. Would you have arrested him? Ask yourself that question if it pops up on the exam. Leave the complaint report open or closed. Would you have arrested him? If it's a violation, no. If it's a felony or an order of violation or an order of protection, then yes, leave it open. So violation closed, felony or violation order protection open, misdemeanor leave it open if she wants him arrested, or misdemeanor leave it open if she doesn't want him arrested, but you believe that an arrest is warranted based on the totality of the circumstances. If it's open, mark it referred to the precinct detective squad. If it's closed, close it out to the court that the complainant victim was referred to. Note in the details of the complaint report if there was an order of protection, and if so, what court issued it, and a possible location for the perp. Okay, one last thing before we finish up with this. This is not primary aggressor analysis or concurrent jurisdiction either, but these are your domestic violence final radio code dispositions. You heard me say in class, I find it very unlikely that they will test radio codes, but if they do test a radio code, I'm willing to bet good money that it's going to be a domestic violence 10 code closing radio disposition. So we have 1090 Frank 1, that's DIR made no family offense. 1090 John 1, that's DIR made no child abuse. 1090 Frank 2, DIR made, but it's an unfounded family dispute. 1090 John 2 is DIR made, but unfounded child abuse. 1092 Frank means a DIR made and there's a family offense arrest. 1092 John, DIR made and a child abuse arrest. 1093 Frank, DIR made and a 61 also made. 1093 John, DIR made and also a 61 made. That involves a juvenile. Okay, so these are your radio codes. Try to learn them, because I think if they go to radio codes at all, it'll be from the family domestic violence final dispositions. Okay, I think that's going to be it for this session of the Key Essentials. Study hard, and ladies and gentlemen, that's my time.